In this video, you'll learn how to create successful mentoring experiences without ever formally asking anyone to be your mentor, and you'll learn how to set expectations so you can get results from every meeting. We're here for 8 unedited minutes about mentoring with Andy Crestodina, co-founder of Orbit Media. Thank you so much for being here today, Andy.
I'm glad to be here. I'm excited about this. Thanks.
And I'd love to jump right in. On our last conversation, you brought up something I thought was amazing. With entrepreneurship, success or failure can depend upon expectations, meeting or not meeting execution. Can you tell me a little more about that?
Well, what is success? Success is when you set a goal and you hit that goal. So it has everything to do with your plan and where you're going. So whenever I hear strategy, I just translate that in my mind immediately to plan to reach a goal.
Okay.
What's a strategy? It's a plan to reach a goal. So success is about where you decide to be at that time and whether you got there or not.
Okay.
So you and I decide that we're going to be working together in a relationship, a mentoring relationship, and we say we're going to meet at this time every month for this duration. If we do that, it's successful. If we don't, it's not. So it's about deciding in advance what you're really trying to do and then doing that thing. It's commitment, persistence, willpower, and follow through.
How can you set expectations so it's not overwhelming? Because sometimes you can get really excited. Let's meet twice a month for an hour, and we're going to do this. How can you set expectations and set yourself up for success?
Well,
without overwhelm.
First of all, be realistic. Secondly, adapt when necessary. Because you can always, at any time, because it's your own commitment, pull back to whatever level you need to be at for realism, and then declare big victory and proceed. So it really doesn't have to be pushing yourself past your limits. Just be realistic and be flexible and be happy with the progress you're making.
And how about before being realistic and setting expectations, when somebody is seeking a mentor, what tripwires should they be avoiding when they haven't met yet, but they realize, ooh, I heard about mentorship, I want to do it?
Right. The biggest failure is to not try and to never reach out, to never make it happen, to never engineer that outcome by finding that person, connecting with them, asking for help. This is why people don't have mentors, is because they don't create a mentorship relationship. So the biggest tripwire, the reason why people don't get this value that they could, because there's plenty of experts out there who would love to share their story, their advice, their wisdom and insights. So the trick is initiative. It's to take the initiative and just go find someone and reach out and start that, right? Start that conversation, ask for a follow-up. You don't even have to use the word mentorship, right? But just to have that relationship.
Talk more. That was another part of our conversation I loved about. With everything that you've been doing with your office hours and whatnot, it's never been an official, will you be my mentor? Tell me about that.
It doesn't have to be official. It doesn't have to be codified. In fact, that can add pressure that makes it harder to succeed against your plan to reach a goal. So what you're really trying to do is to meet someone who knows something that you want to know, right? They're willing to teach, you're willing to learn, they're where you want to be. So when you find that person, reaching out and starting the conversation without having to necessarily even formalize it beyond what's necessary. So for me, what happened for me was I met people who had reached out, and I actually had a program for this. I called it Office Hours, as you know.
I remember that.
Yeah. So for years, every Friday at 8 o'clock, I met with a different person, whoever signed up through my Office Hours tool. Troy Hennicoff. There's other people who are kind of famous for this model. And it's like college. People can just come in. And the ones who kept coming back, the ones who, I think of Brittany and Dave and Benjamin, these people I know who just like kept using Office Hours, gradually, without me even realizing it, were using me as a mentor, and we both got great value. We all got great value, so it was fun.
What else were they doing besides showing up? Because they formed a relationship with you without making it too formal. What were they doing besides showing up? What advice do you have for mentees?
Well, a woman named Brittany Martin did this beautifully. What she would often do is come in and she had like a plan. Like she wanted to talk about these certain things.
Okay.
I'm instantly impressed. Some people come in and just like the small talk for 20 minutes and you're wondering like, what's this about? No, she knew what she wanted to discuss. And she came in and she had it laid out. And so there was questions and follow-up questions, and so there was action and insights, and then when she came back later, she told me the next time when she came in again, like it was like a real side door, not a planned formal mentorship relationship at all.
Okay.
But she came in and told me what she did last time and described the follow-up. And it made me feel more committed to also, deliver on this implicit promise to create value from this relationship and to, help her however I could. So it's quite clever, very useful, and a sort of a smart way to progress a relationship without adding pressure.
With as much as you do, why do you do it? Because that's one thing a lot of people, if they're afraid of asking someone for help or advice, it's like, oh, he's too busy or he's too successful or why would they do it? Why do you do it?
Well, quite honestly, I get a big benefit from doing it.
Okay.
And I don't necessarily, I'm not emphasizing that, but looking back, a great way to learn is to teach. So someone asks you a question, you just ask me a question. You are pushing my mind to structure my thoughts, to articulate this, and to have it make sense, right? These interactions have huge mutual benefits. So it's not that I did it for selfish reasons, but I knew that the whole time that I was doing that I was listening and learning, getting better at teaching, at structuring, my thoughts. But probably it's just sort of an instinct. There's lots of people like this. I think maybe most people are like this. They just want to learn something and teach it. It's just innately valuable to be. It makes you relevant. It's just somehow rewarding. I'm not sure. It's a great question, Mark. I'm not even sure.
Did you stumble across that, or were you just hardwired that way? Help other people and give?
Well, when my career as a marketer ended up going in that direction of the career of the content marketer, which is about teaching, writing, speaking, and so what office hours did for me at first was gave me a program to, it's like brain picker defense. It's like someone wants help with something, sign up for office hours, I'll meet with you then.
Yeah.
And it made it easier for me to manage people who just wanted to chat. The career path of being a marketer / teacher just ends up, you just meet people who like to talk, and so it was a way to keep that organized.
And if someone's on the fence about mentoring and they're just thinking about either side, whichever one you want to talk about, the mentor or mentee, what would you tell them? Just why they should do it?
Well, there are, I think, two main factors in how successful a person is. It's what you know and who you know. You know the cliche. What's the cliche?
It's not who you know. Well, it's not who you know. It's who knows you. Or that's a variation of it. It's something like that.
Well, in my experience, you need to have both knowledge and a network. It's what you know and it's who you know. And what a mentorship does for you is both. It's both. So if there's one path, right, just lay it out, right? Like engineer success by putting together all the ingredients that you need to get to the level that you want to be at. And you're going to find out that you need to have help in relationships and a referral network and support. And you need knowledge and skills and practical, something you can apply. So I think that it's a magic bullet to give you both of the things that you need most in your career.
I think that's a perfect way to close out the interview. Thank you so much for being here, Andy. Appreciate it.
My pleasure, Carter. Anytime.
Excellent.